back to the beginning of another week. It's week 28, and I will admit that last week was a rough week. It was very, very hot, and at some point during the week, I got a migraine, which was pretty much incapacitating. And Friday evening, I got stung by a wasp, which made my weekend very uncomfortable. Thankfully, I'm not allergic to wasps, but my arm did swell up quite a bit. There was a lot of itching. I was taking the antihistamines that they have here, but we also have Benadryl, so I was taking Benadryl. Yeah, with all the not so great things that happened this last week, I will take you around and show you some of the other stuff that's going on. Francis is on vacation right now, so that'll help, having an extra set of hands to help me out with stuff. Tomorrow is Bastille Day, which is basically our equivalent of 4th of July. So we're not planning on doing anything because we wouldn't do anything for 4th of July out in the States either. But let me go around and show you what's going on. Okay, so out in the garden, it's not looking much different because I did not spend a lot of time outside. The temperatures were just way too high, so I spent a lot of time inside. I watched some movies, did a bunch of housework and things like that. We're here. This is not the wasps that stung me, but way down in there, if I zoom in, you can see in that corner, there are the remnants of a nest because I did go ahead and spray that one. Usually I kind of live and let live, but once I get stung, then I'm like, no, you're all gone. The first of our little peas or green beans are coming in, so I actually have to get out here and pick them. So we're gonna have some green beans coming in. The tomatoes are starting to ripen. So we have like a big one ripening down there. And these are the Andine cornu, which are these funky like horn-shaped ones. Unfortunately, this variety is really known for this blossom end rot, but I did give it a bunch of calcium when I planted, so I'm hoping it won't be too bad, and we'll see what we get. But these tomatoes are giant, and there's quite a few, so if they do well, I'll be really happy. The other ones over here, these are my champagne bubbles. Whoops, champagne bubbles. They're like, let's see if I can get a nice one. They're basically a yellow cherry. They're okay. They're pretty tasty. I was sold on them because somebody described them as better than Super Sweet 100. I would not describe them as better than Super Sweet 100, but it is what it is. Look at this guy. Can you see him? He's big. Anyway, squirrel. Not a squirrel. What else is happening? I've just decided to let all of the rogue self-planted tomatoes do their thing because I'm not really worried about maximizing the garden this year. I didn't plant a lot of stuff out because of the heat waves. I'm really focused on just trying to get the watering done. So there's that, which is working out pretty well. So I have the watering set up in here. It's been doing its thing. I may have to watch because it looks like it might be set too high because this whole area in here is quite humid now too. But I did also water yesterday just because it was so dry. I am getting around to clearing out some stuff. So I cleared out some beans there, or peas. I have to clear out these peas. These are just some cabbages that are growing. I cleared out a bunch of weeds and stuff over in that section. So this week is also going to continue with just a lot of cleanup now that the weather is scheduled or forecasted to be a little cooler. I want to take advantage of being able to be outside and not overheating. I have more volunteer tomatoes there, which I may thin because that's going to get insane. I might thin the other side too. Mowing the lawn or mowing the rest of the lawn is definitely on the docket for this week. Checking out the orchard. Actually, I wanted to show you something. I actually planted quite a few of these sunflowers and literally only one came up. I think the other ones were eaten, but I'll take one sunflower. So we are getting one sunflower growing here. It's like a Mongolian giant. So this thing's supposed to get huge. So we'll see what actually happens. I also have some various other things growing along the side. Some of my kiwis definitely died, but it is what it is. And we'll go check out some other stuff. Another thing on for this week is potentially getting some distribution tubing set up along this side. I do have the distribution tubing that's already set up along this side. However, it's not plugged in yet. The orchard will be fed by the potager up there. So that's coming. I also want to get some distribution lines along these pots so that they will get watered. I did clear out some of my cilantro, but like this is the area where my cilantro comes in. My akebia is growing, which is kind of amazing. I thought it died. But I'm waiting for more supplies to arrive for the drip irrigation, but I do have distribution tubing. So I'm trying to get more of that out as I have time. I'm not going to take you in, but my potting area is there, and I'll throw in a photo or a video of a little bird who's taken up residence above my potting station. So it's kind of cool. I think it's a rouge gorge, which is basically a robin. And yeah, maybe I'll be able to send updates on her as she does her thing. We've called her Stephanie because she kind of stuffed herself in that space. I did get distribution tubing set up along there. Again, it's not plugged in. So I have this tube that goes all the way along, and then I have little offshoots to each of these plants. I still need to set up drippers for the planter over there, and then eventually there will also be drippers to all of these pots up here, but since they're not set up, I'm not worried about it. I'm trying to prioritize what actually needs to happen. Down in here, I need to get it cleaned up. I did start getting distribution tubing at least like sort of mapped out. So it needs to get more organized and staked in. So that will happen this week. The chickens have been champs through all the heat. They're doing their thing, and they're complaining about the fact that they haven't had treats this morning yet. More distribution tubing has been cut for the potato spaces, and I have that giant thing there, which will actually end up going along here if I ever decide to actually get these pots up and running, which I'm still thinking about. So they're just hanging out for pretty right now. If I did get those up and running, they would probably just have like salad or flowers or I don't know, but that is what it is. And we have some more tomatoes here. These guys, I honestly forgot to water, which is unfortunate. These are my tangerine crims, and yeah, I'm hoping that these are super tasty, but we'll see. We did lose some. Some are starting to like turn colors, so we'll kind of see what happens there. All the squash is doing okay. We have like one butternut starting there. This butternut looks like it's gonna bite the dust. We have some melons, but if I come over here, it's been so, oh, check him out. It's been so like warm and stuff that I think everyone's getting desperate. So yeah, this one's been chewed. This other one over here, if you go in, has also been chewed. I do have one here, which so far looks okay. We'll see what actually comes of it. Unfortunately, that's it. So out of 3 plants, right now I have 3 melons and 2 of them have been chewed, but it is what it is. Zucchini, I always plant way too many zucchinis. These are all different types, but yeah, you forget about them for like a day and they turn into like giant monsters. This one's not as bad as some of the other ones. So I need to get out here and pick some. Some of these plants are doing better than others. So that's kind of why I trialed like basically 6 different varieties, and I'll pick the ones that do well in my climate and keep those. Because I have found out the hard way that the potatoes, I picked a variety that simply doesn't do great in my climate because the summers are just too hot and too dry. So next year I will try something else. In the meantime, I will leave you with Mr. B. He can't hear us. So, oh, hello. And it's probably too hot for him. So he's like, I want to go back to the house. There isn't any sunset or anything coming. So maybe I'll throw in a video of a previous sunset this week. But that is it. I hope you had a great week and I will see you next week. Bye.